Hi, I'm Charlie, and I'm going to be showing you today my Apple IIGS complete system that I've had since I was a kid. I first got the main component. I inherited it from my 8th grade uh, earth science teacher. She had it, and she knew how much I was a fan when I was a little kid of old, obsolete, as she called them, Apple computers. So on the last day of Earth Science class, she surprised me by giving this to me. I've grown the collection and I've taken care of it ever since then. And I want to show my system to you. So thanks for watching.
This is my Apple IIGS complete system that I have here. Got the CPU, which of course is an Apple IIGS ROM version 3. It was released in 1989, and it has 1.5 megabytes, which is pretty tiny compared to today, but for then it was a pretty good chunk of memory. It does have a SCSI card, and I have that connected up to the Apple hard drive, 20 megabyte hard drive, and the Apple CD300. Of course, I also got the original keyboard and mouse, and a 3.5-inch floppy drive and a 5.25-inch floppy drive. Got the Craft KC3 joystick controller, and I also have the ImageWriter 2 printer. And last but not least, I also have the Apple personal modem 300/1200. But that's a general overview of the system, and it still works, and I'm going to fire it up for you and let you guys take a look at that.
Here is my system starting up. The familiar sound of the 5.25 drive, and we got on the desktop. We got the system disk, the 5.25 drive, and the RAM disk that I've turned on. There is the about the Finder. It tells us that this was released June 15th, 1989. Here's the control panel dealing with the memory, the RAM. Altogether, this system has 1.5, little over 1.5 megabytes. The 1 megabyte of it is built in because the ROM 3 version shipped with a megabyte of built-in memory, and I also have a Apple II Apple IIGS memory expansion card as well, and that adds an additional 512 kilobytes. And I even have the box for it too, which is really cool. Is a Word document slash report slash, I don't really know what you want to call it, a writing program for children, as you see, ages 9 and up. It's from the Learning Company, which is the same company that does Reader Rabbit and a few of those other popular children's programs. You can definitely tell this is the 1980s. You can see by the outfits that the kids are wearing, and especially the little boy's hair. You can definitely tell this is the 80s, and it is. It's 1988. I'm going to go ahead and open the box up so we can get a look. There we go. Got your letter, story, or report, and then you got your newsletter. I'm going to demo this by, let's do a little layout here. With heading. So let's see. Apple. And I remember having this elementary school long time ago. And the cool thing is this it does allow you to use the mouse. I want to put in a picture. I'm going to use a picture disc. Okay, so here is a little Word document that I've created on the Apple IIGS using the Children's Writing and Publishing Center. I'll kind of show you. We're going to go to the heading. And there's the heading I've created, my Apple IIGS computer. And we'll go back to the body. Just kind of put down some details about the computer. And I'm actually going to print this out on my Apple Image Writer 2 printer. Whoops, I selected the wrong thing. And the computer sees it. It sees that it's an Apple Image Writer 2. And we're just going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and just print this. And the printer is right over here, so I'll be, and it is going to print out my little Word document. There it is. As you can tell, I do need a new color, a new ribbon. But I really just wanted to do this to show you that the printer does work. It just needs a new ribbon. Shit. The banker. Okay, and to finish off my collection here, I have the original boxes for the Apple IIGS. Not for the monitor, just the computer, keyboard, and mouse. And I also have the original keyboard, the original box for the image writer over there. I have that as well. The boxes are not in the best of shape, but they are in reasonably good condition. There are some writing on there from when I had to have them shipped. And there's a little bit of yellowing, but the boxes, they're sturdy, and they are the original boxes that the computer came in. Also, on top of having the original boxes for the computer and the printer, I have the original box for the Apple IIGS memory expansion card. Inside I have the original foam. And I also have the original box for my Apple personal modem. And I put the modem inside there, but I don't have the manual, but I do have the box for that. On top of that, I do have some other resources for the Apple II. I have this Nibble Express Volume 7. For those of you unfamiliar, Nibble was an Apple II magazine, and every year they would put out a volume of their best programs. They had programs that you could type in, and every year they put out a volume of their best. This here is the 7th volume. It was released in 1977, and it's chocked full of different programs, from games to utilities, you name it. And it's in really, really good shape. I've had that for a number of years. I also have some copies of the Nibble magazine. I have this copy from August of 1991. This is when they were winding down, so it's a lot thinner. They even renamed it the Journal instead of the magazine for Apple II enthusiasts. Got the March 91 copy for Nibble. One of the things when I was growing up that I used to love to do was to look at this magazine just for the ads. For the old computer program ads. Just for the ads. For the old computer program ads. And to wish that I could get my hands on some of this stuff. I have the February of 91 edition. And these are in protective plastic. I've kept them that way the magazines themselves stay in good shape. And last but not least, this is the thickest one. It's from July 1990. Software piracy. Last but not least, I think this is one of my favorite resources I have. It's the Dr. C. Wacko Presents AppleSoft Basic and the Whiz-Bang Miracle Machine. If you're not familiar, Dr. C. Wacko is a pseudonym of a gentleman who used to work for Atari. And he put out a series of books to teach people how to program in BASIC, in this case AppleSoft Basic. This book is, I got it a number of years ago when I first got the computer. But this book is it's very collectible. It's extremely rare, and it's very hard to find. In fact, when I was looking on Amazon recently, I saw that they're selling it for over $1,000. I don't know who would pay that, but this book is extremely rare and is a collector's edition. Collectible. It's really fun to take this and to make programs with it. I used to do that as a kid. It helped me to learn to program in Apple Basic. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what year it was published. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, 1985. Yep, 1985. by David Heller. David Heller, that's the gentleman that used to work for Atari. But yeah, there's some of the other resources that I have in my Apple II collection. Nibble Express, the Nibble magazine, the original box for the memory expansion card, and the original box for the Apple Image Writer and the Apple IIGS. So that was my complete Apple IIGS system. Like I said, I've had that for so many years, ever since I was in 8th grade, and I'm pushing 30 now, so that's been quite a few years ago. I absolutely love my Apple IIGS. I was obsessed with Apple II growing up. After getting my hands on that, actually before getting my hands on that computer, big retro Mac fan. So when my 8th grade Earth Science teacher gifted that system to me, it just really made my day. And I've spent a number of years holding on to it, growing the collection, playing around with it, just having fun with it. Unfortunately, at age 30 now, I really don't have the time or the space to, and the space is a big one, to continue keeping my Apple II. I have several new iMacs. I've had modern Apple products. So it has come time for me to part with my Apple IIGS. And part of the reason I'm showcasing the system is because I want to find a buyer for it. And I'm going to be putting it on eBay. And I'm going to, not as a buy now, but as an auction. And I'm going to start that auction at 99 cents. And I'll pay for the shipping. So free shipping to whoever buys it. And the reason I'm doing that is because back when I used to really collect old Apple computers, Macs, all that good stuff, I loved the auction. I loved going on there, finding something cheap, and bidding on it. But now, most of the stuff that you find in the vintage computer section, it's all outrageously priced from the get-go, and it's buy now. And I don't want to do that with this system. I want someone to get this who really loves Apple, vintage Apple products, especially the Apple IIGS, and who will take care of this system and appreciate it the way that I've appreciated it all these years. So I will include a link to the eBay post if you're interested in bidding on this. And so yeah, that's my Apple IIGS. Thanks for watching.